Yo, welcome back to the Beat Factory 313 War Stories Podcast. And I'm your host, Juice. And we got today with you, let them know your name, big bro.
Rosco Rico Martin, a.k.a. Melchizedek the Holy Ghost, out of Flint, Michigan, Buffalo, New York.
How's it going, bro?
Right down at Ross Correctional Facility.
That's what's up. How you doing today?
I'm peaceful, bro, always.
Alhamdulillah. What brings you here today? Tell the people, tell the chat about yourself.
Well, I want to, bring some light to the people out there, out in the podcast world, social media, let them know what's going on with my court proceedings out of Marquette County for extortion of my proceedings out of Flint, Genesee County, dealing with my murder charge. I got some action up under Honorable Cheryl here of Marquette County 25th Circuit Court, because I filed a motion for reissuing of judgment and a motion for the sale of the record and a motion to expand the record, including the motion that for an evidentiary hearing and appointment of counsel, and she granted it. And, I was attacking the complaint and the warrant, because up under NCR 6.101 subsection B, NCR 6.102 subsection B, there always supposed to be a swear to hearing transcript and affidavit that's supposed to come with the complaint and the warrant for them to get probable cause to arrest you. But that's not what's going on in the state of Michigan and all the counties throughout this state. They just go on to get these complaints and warrants coming to arrest a cat, and they don't have no subject matter or personal jurisdiction, which may show charge a radical jurisdictional defect. So she granted it, and after she granted it, I took that same order to instruct and persuade the court in Genesee County to give me that same type of action on my murder charge. They failed to respond so far. My judge there is Honorable Brian Pickle. And I've been attacking this stuff because they've been doing illegal stuff in my cases from the beginning, dealing with DNA. They done had, when I got charged on my murder charge in Genesee County, they had a prosecutor acting as my attorney. And I just recently found this out in 2023 when the judge, Honorable Brian Pickle, sent me the arrest warrant and complaint. His name was the person on the complaining warrant issuing arrest for me and my two co-defendants, Michael Charles Edwards and Jamal Adair Brown. So I challenged that. And I'm waiting to see what's going on, And then on that same case, my appeal attorney was my appeal attorney at the same time. His name Earl Spiller. He was also the assistant prosecuting attorney out of Genesee County. And I found that out through the help with a law librarian at another facility.
Okay, so how did you So how did you even get there from start? Take us to the beginning, the root of it.
Well, I was filing motions for relief of judgment, but it goes all the way back to 1989.
Okay.
1989, right before my charge on this murder case, I was picked up on some cold cases. Eventually, I got cleared of them. People was from my name in their mouth in the streets. Then right after I get released on them, maybe 2 or 3 days later, I get picked up on a murder charge, another murder charge. And what happened on the north side of Flint on Lindale and Wright, where a guy was allegedly beaten to death, dead through in the sewer. But kind of find out because the guy's name was Burnell Johnson Jr. Kind of find out years later, the guy was never beaten to death. He was drowned. But they only say he was beaten to death to keep me involved in the case because they know me and the guy had a physical altercation. And they wanted to get me off the street.
And what year was this?
They wanted,
not to cut you off. What year was this?
Yeah. This was 1989, April 30th, 1989.
And you've been locked up ever since?
Yeah, since I was 16 years old.
Okay, so then how you get the what was that you was just talking of? Extortion.
Okay, I got the extortion because I came up under state and federal investigation.
Allegedly.
2011, where I was at Marquette Branch Prison. They was investigating a bunch of correctional officers from Marquette Branch Prison, the old Ken Ross Correctional Facility, Alger Correctional Facility, and Berger Correctional Facility. The officers say that I was extorting them, but it wasn't true. So they did the administration, I forgot what they call him, but he was a police liaison at a prison facility named Lincoln Marshall. He did an investigation asking certain organizations, the Malays, the Nation, the Aryan Brotherhood, about me. So they was like, he'll stand up there. So what they did was call me out and try to get me to work with them. Their exact words to me was, you should, since they lied on you, we know, because we looking at the video cameras, you ain't nowhere around this first. Right. So you should be willing to work with us. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen. So the next day, they let me go that day. The next day, they snatched me up and put me in a hole on the nose of a tent. Every day, they was pulling me out with the state police and these undercover federal agents. Like, hey, you should go in, help us do this, do that. I'm like, hey, that ain't gonna happen. So what they did was created some evidence to make it look like it came from me to try to squeeze me off. And when it still didn't work, the evidence they used using forensic labs out of Marquette Branch, on Industrial Park Drive, the forensic lab in Grayland, Lansing, and another place. They used this evidence against me and charged me for extortion. And gave me 7 to 30 years old because I would help them snitch on people. So you actually caught this? They gave you this case while you was already doing the time for the murder. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Get out of here. Yep. And who you have for a lawyer on this case? Who you have on those stories? The first lawyer I had was Scott Brogan out of Marquette. He was selling me out, and I'm picking out. So I spoke up, wrote a grievance on him with the Attorney Grievance Commission, got him on my case. Then they gave me a guy named Kevin Branson. He was out of Marquette too. He was literally trying to help me, but I guess he said that the way what was really going on, that we was up against something big. He literally got on my case, lied and said he was closing his legal department and everything. Then they gave me an attorney named Timothy Cornell out of Marquette. And kind of find out he's selling me out. All this stuff that they was trying to suppress, kind of find out one of the correction officers out of Kent named Todd Edward Sorrow, he was representing the guy, which was a conflict. Right. So he just literally sold me out. Then during my appeal process, they gave me a attorney out of Bay City named George Mullison. He sold me out. Gonna find out he used to be a prosecutor. Then they gave me Jennifer France. She about a Sault Ste. Marie. She ended up selling me. I got her on my case. Then they gave me this other attorney named Diane K. Hogelbaum. She about a Canava and Munich, Michigan. And I got her on my case. And then just recently, the judge just granted Sato and Matt to represent me. But the stuff so deep, I ain't even heard from me. And it's been going on 3 months. Get out of here now. This something I wasn't even expecting all this. Man. They lied about DNA evidence. They claim my DNA on stuff. My DNA had already been in the COLAS database since 2003. They come get it in June of 2011, planted on evidence. The detective admitted to me he used some type of tri-mouth liquid called biotech. Come to find out, biotech can literally take your saliva and amplify it and make it look like it literally came out your mouth. You know, so I was floored. You know, he lied on stand about the same custody, saying that he had got the extortion letters in June of 2011, but kind of find out a detective out of the Bridgeport Forensic Lab in Bridgeport, Michigan State Police staff named Ty Welch. He said he didn't get the extortion letters in a typewriter until 2013, a few days before my trial. And he sent the same evidence back to this guy through the U.S. Postal Service. You know. And what the letter's supposed to say? The letter's supposed to say that I'm accusing this correctional officer of committing crimes, having a guy stabbed, having sexual relations with other prisoners at 2 different prisons, and this is the same stuff they wanted me to say against this correctional officer is the stuff that they put in the extortion letters.
Oh, so they trying to flip it and say you did it, but they got something against this officer.
Yeah, and in the original police report that they did the analysis on my typewriter and it cleared. This was in 2011. In 2013, after they went to America to get my typewriter from the property room there with one of the officers that they was investigating named Johnny Kankis, kind of find out. Not only was he under investigation, but his son, Keith Jenkins, was in my jury and knew the witnesses and everything.
Get out of here. Kangaroo court.
Yeah, kangaroo court.
Now listen.
A lady, when I was coming out of the court, she told me, she said, whatever you do, baby, keep fighting this stuff. She said, because what they doing, they lying. She said, you talking about how you were snuck out of the prison by these state employees and the state police. And they saying it didn't happen, but you explained detailed description how you were snuck out of Marquette Brush Prison and to a forensic lab in Marquette on Industrial Park Drive on the dead-end street. And she said, baby, says, you've been in prison. This forensic lab was built in the early 2000s, so you shouldn't even know about it. She said, that's how I know she was telling the truth.
That's real spill. Now look, the lady, the officer that they trying to throw under the bus to get you to ride against, did that officer ain't come to court and stuff? She didn't have to come to court?
Yeah, she came. Initially, during my preliminary examination process and pre-trial stuff, she didn't show up, but they ended up squeezing her off during trial. I guess they told her she don't do it, they was gonna fire her. She came to court and testified against me.
She testified against you, but I thought they wanted you to testify against her.
Against her, yep, in 2013.
So they flipped it. Since you didn't cooperate, they got her. They got her to switch it on you.
They was trying to get her and a whole bunch of her lost for a whole bunch of stuff.
So what?
I stayed in the hole 2 years on the notice of intent. Being stand up.
Right. So what? So the investigation. So who all got penalized under this investigation besides yourself?
I'm the only one, because when I started exploring what they were doing secretly, they shut it down. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to get some brothers out of Detroit off the number streets, some Mexican cats, the Silver Brothers. They were trying to get Edward Johnny and Baby, a known Detroit hitman. They were trying to get Fork off the number streets. They were trying to get a brother about a Flint now, Alfonso Wright, they call himself Capone. That's from Scandino mob that you be with Bone Scandalous now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And some other brothers and stuff.
So they left everybody alone and then zeroed in on you?
Yeah, and try to play like when nothing going on. But then after my appeal, I ended up getting a copy of the actual police report from the incident.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Get out of here. So where you at with it now? So how this tie to your murder? Your murder charge?
Well, I'm waiting on to see what's going on the murder charge. The judge there, they still trying to cover up. Because I'm exposing that these prosecutors one was my attorney at my arraignment when I was a juvenile, one was my attorney during my appeal. You know, and my adulthood, you know. You
got to call back too, Rosco. You feel me?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we got your case deeper than I thought. You feel me? I got to go pull it up.
Yeah, it's real deep.
You
319-400 will take you straight to it. People versus Rosco Rico Martin.
Okay, you want to release this? You want me to release this?
Yeah, release everything. I want everybody to know because it affects a lot of people out of the Detroit area, Sugar Grove.
Thank you for using GTL.
Go ahead. Yeah, we back.
Yeah, the murder charge, you know, it's crazy how, you know, I'm finding out stuff in 2023 about the proceedings that happened in my case. You know, I found out that how they lied about the cause of death of the victim to keep me involved in the case, because from day one I was saying, you know, when the murder happened, I was no longer at the scene. But the prosecutors, Michael Perkins and Arthur Bush, argued to my juror that I was there, and I helped my co-defendants, Michael Charles Edwards and Shamar Adair Brown, commit the murder. But years later, in 1994, I didn't find this out until 2023, that the victim's sister, Renee Johnson, had filed a lawsuit against my co-D, Michael Charles Edwards' parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, lawsuit is Allstate Insurance versus Renee Johnson. So Allstate Insurance did an investigation on our case.
Okay.
And during the investigation of our case, they found the victim never was beaten to death. He was drowned in the sewer, which proves I was even at the crime scene. My co-defendants, while they was incarcerated, they wrote affidavits years later admitting that, hey, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, I played a part in the altercation initially, but then I took myself away from the scene, you know?
Okay. Now, so did you appeal? Did you initially appeal?
You have 1 minute remaining.
We'll come back. Did you initially appeal your case?
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Did
you initially appeal that case?
Yeah. They shot it down, tried to give me a resentencing, and the judge denied it.
Even with their affidavit? Even with their affidavit?
Even with their affidavit, yeah. They ain't cared because they always just wanted to get me off the street.
Get out of here.
And my co-D's, one of them, I've been out there 2 years now. The other one's gonna go home.
Man, so you got the short end of the stick. You got to come. You got to call. You got to call back too. Let me reload this phone too. It sounds like they've been railroading. And you sure you want me to put this out?
Yeah, put it out there. Most definitely. I don't have no secrets.
That's right. Yeah, well, we gonna put it out. This true crimes. I represent true crimes for us. You feel me?
Thank you for using GT.
Yeah, that was Rosco Rico Martin. So you know, he was referred to me by some solid comrades. So I took his word, but you know, I still had to do some investigation for the chat. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we putting out true crimes adequately. So you know, I've been in Marquette. So I researched it, and this is what we came up with on his appeal. People of the state of Michigan versus Rosco, that's his name. People of the state of Michigan versus Rosco Rico Martin. Okay, this is the basics of facts. So he was there. Some transpired there because it's true. He appealed, and this is what they had to say. Defendant was a prisoner confined to the Marquette Branch Prison when the instant offense occurred. Lincoln Marshall, an inspector at the Marquette Prison, testified that on May 2nd, 2011, he intercepted 2 extortion letters that were addressed to Gail Odell, who worked as a correction officer at the prison. Marshall had alerted the mailroom that all communications from prisoners to prison employees be forwarded to him as a matter of course. Marshall took particular interest in the letters because there was an inquiry into whether Odell had become overly familiar with some of the prisoners. The letters were sealed in envelopes and marked confidential with no return address. The letters instructed Odell to send money to an address, or the author would publicly accuse her of criminal activities. Marshall had copies of each letter and then sent the copy letters along to Odell to see if she would return the letters in and to better assess the truth of the letter's allegations. The inquiry never became an official investigation and no misconduct was ever substantiated. Okay, so this is what they concluded. Odell testified that she received the letters alleging that she had set up a hit on an inmate who had been stabbed in the eye. So she putting out hits. The letters threatened to accuse her of setting up the stabbing if she did not send $10,000 to Gerald Lawrence, an attorney in the Lower Peninsula. Odell took the letters to Marshall the same day and told him that she believed defendant had sent them. Odell's belief was based on similarities between the letters and another letter that she had knew defendant wrote. Hold on. Okay. Similarities between the letters and another. Hold on. It was small. Letters and another letter that she had previously received from defendant, where he accused her of having affairs with prisoners. She knew defendant wrote the letter because he asked her to retrieve it from the mail. I didn't understand that. Odell testified that she threw that first letter away without showing it to her superiors. She further testified that the next two letters were written in the same fashion as the first. Michigan State Police Officer Todd Johnson interviewed defendant. Defendant admitted to Johnson that an address written inside an envelope flap found in his cell was his handwriting. This was important because the extortion letters had bragged about knowing the personal address of other prison employees, and the written notation of the envelope found in the defendant's cell was the same address. Johnson also spoke with the attorney mentioned in the extortion letter. The defendant had contacted the attorney in 2009 to work on an appeal, but they never entered into an attorney-client relationship because the attorney never received legal fees or record forms from the defendant. Defendant denied writing or sending the letters. Defendant testified that both Marshall and Johnson tried to enlist defendant as an informant for investigations involving prison employees and other inmates. Defendant had multiple conversations with both Marshall and Johnson, and on more than one occasion, the officers took defendant on excursions driving around the Upper Peninsula. Defendant did not want to become a snitch or mole because it was too dangerous. The risk of death was too great. He was eventually transferred to Berrigam prison. Defendant acknowledged that he corresponded with the attorney named in the extortion letters in 2009 or 2010, stating that he never hired the attorney and that the attorney wanted $2,000 for the retainer to work on his case. Defendant's fingerprints was matched to a Latin finger. Hold on. Defendant's fingerprint was matched to a Latin fingerprint on one of the envelopes. His DNA matched samples taken from the two envelope flaps. The DNA on the flaps was likely from bodily fluids rather than from cellular debris, dead skin cells, because there was a large amount of DNA present on the flaps. The odds of the DNA profiles from the flaps were randomly matched. Defendant's DNA profile were 1 in 1 quadrillion. Johnson explained that the prison employee had lost his identification inside the prison. Both Marshall and Johnson denied ever attempting to get defendant to act as an informant. Defendant also accused the prosecutor of being part of the conspiracy. The expert testified that it would take 214,000 Earths to have 1 quadrillion people. So randomly matching the envelope would be likely randomly going to one of the 214th Earths, randomly pick one person, and having that person's DNA profile match the DNA profile from the envelope. The jury found defendant guilty of extortion, and he was sentenced to 7 to 30 years imprisonment. He now appeals as of right. So what went on was, because he ended up at Kinross, that's where they at now, Kinross Correctional Facility. What it sounded like to me is that officer was dirty, Odell. You feel me? And they helped cover it up. But why they helped cover it up? Because the brothers sound like they went at it the wrong way, or the police set it up, all allegedly, like he said. But the way it's written up here, it sounds like trying to put the extortion game in, that let her off the hook of whatever she had done to that other inmate. And I'm saying that to say the streets ain't what it is. You feel me? If they would have just went at the straight and narrow, then they probably could have got that dirty cop dealt with. You feel me? But with them trying to come, two wrongs don't make a right. You feel me? They should have just, if they was just gonna put her on blast for what she was doing, they should have just put her on blast. You feel me? Not go at her with the extortion and end up catching him up in the case. And it might not even been him, or it might have been him. But I heard a lot of good things about this brother, and I had to share that with y'all because he got an amazing story. You know, you went from murder to extortion. You feel me? Everything real, but the streets ain't what it is. Like I told y'all before, it's a million stories from the urban. It's a million inner city stories, and this just but one. We gonna get down to many more. Tune back in. I'll be back on later on today. It's Friday night. It's Friday afternoon. We go rock out all the way to Friday night. If y'all got any stories y'all like me to bring up, shoot it in the comment. And please hit the like, comment, and subscribe on this. I got Lil Vaughn coming in tonight. Y'all tune in. We gonna tell the Lil Vaughn and Lil Chris story. I'm gonna give y'all a story about them brothers. Y'all been asking for it. Well, tonight. Tap back in with me. Please hit the like, comment, and subscribe and share. The audio go get better. I'm working on that, and I'm gonna get to better visuals for y'all. Stay tuned, and I appreciate everybody for tapping in. And remember, the streets ain't what it is. You feel me? There's a million and one stories in the inner city, and we just getting to the first one, and we gonna get to the next one. Stay tuned. And I'm out. And I'm Juice. Beat Factory 313. Share, like, and subscribe. Please do that for me. And I'm out.